Jimmy! Jimmy!
Hey guys, Kiwi here, warning you spoilers for Breaking Bad, El Camino, and Better Call Saul to Season 6, Episode 9. In this video I'll be breaking down Kim's fate from Episode 609, along with if we'll ever see her again in the remaining 4 episodes of Better Call Saul Season 6. Like the video if you end up enjoying it, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter for more Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad updates. With that being said, let's jump into the breakdown.
Let me get down to brass tacks.
So I'll have a video up in the next few days discussing all the scenes from episode 609 in regards to Kim's ultimate decision to quit the law and break up with Jimmy, but in this video I'll be discussing whether or not we'll actually see Kim again in the 4 remaining episodes of Better Call Saul. So, will we ever see Kim again? Although this was her departure from the Better Call Saul timeline, I doubt that this is the last time we'll ever see her in the show. She could pop up during the Breaking Bad timeline or the Gene timeline. Where did Kim move to? Even though the final Better Call Saul timeline scene with Jimmy and Kim cut off due to dramatic effect, you gotta assume they had a few more conversations off screen before Kim finished moving out of the apartment for good. So although we don't know where Kim moved away to, I assume that Jimmy knows, as it's probably a question that he asked her while she was moving out. Did Kim stay in Albuquerque or move out of town? Well, considering the fact that she didn't grow up in Albuquerque and moved out there specifically to start her career as a lawyer, I assume that she may move out of Albuquerque since she's no longer a lawyer. Just like how Kim can stay in the apartment due to it reminding her of Howard's death and the events with Lalo, I assume that she may move out of Albuquerque due to Albuquerque reminding her of her career as a lawyer and the life that she's built around it. Just like how the apartment has become tainted for her, it's also possible that Albuquerque is now tainted too. So if Kim moves out of Albuquerque, where will she move to? Well, she could move anywhere in the United States, honestly, but the most obvious answer is that she could have moved back home, or at least near her hometown. As we know, Kim grew up in a small town called Red Cloud, Nebraska, which is close to the Kansas-Nebraska border. Fun fact, the Royals t-shirt that we've seen Kim wear multiple times, either right after a con or while planning a con, is obviously from the Kansas City Royals. Since Kim grew up with a con artist's mother, her hometown is most likely where she originally got her conning tendencies through her mother, which is why she wears the Kansas City Royals t-shirt whenever she's seen affiliating with cons in Better Call Saul. It's interesting that both Jimmy and Kim were exposed to con artists from a young age. With Jimmy, it was the con artist from the Wolves and Sheep flashback, and with Kim it was her mother. And also, I assume that the con artist from the Wolves and Sheep flashback isn't the only con artist that Jimmy ever came across, as Jimmy said multiple times that his father was swindled time and time again, so that particular con artist that we saw in that flashback was probably just the final straw that caused Jimmy to become a wolf instead of a sheep, so to speak. So Kim may not actually want to move back home due to her home reminding her of her con artist mother, considering her conning life with Jimmy is what she's quitting and moving away from. However, on the other side, although her life with Jimmy may be too far gone to fix, along with Howard's death and their affiliation with the cartel, maybe she thinks that her family relationships aren't too far gone. It's possible that she may move back home to rekindle and rebuild her relationship with her family, since fixing a relationship with Jimmy isn't feasible. So could Kim go back home to be with her mother? Given the cliche that people like to stay close to home, she may want to move back close to home and reconnect with her family if they're still alive. We haven't seen her family or even heard of them at all during the Better Call Saul timeline, aside from Kim telling Jimmy that her father is a huge movie buff when she was showing him the Ice Station Zebra movie in season 2.
Ice Station Zebra is on the North Pole. The thing takes place on the South Pole. They literally could not be any more different. My dad loves this one.
Which Saul Goodman eventually named Ice Station Zebra Associates from as a nod or dedication to his time spent with Kim.
What is Ice Station Zebra Associates?
And make it out to Ice Station Zebra Associates. That's my loan out.
But aside from that, Kim never talks about her family. She never mentions them, we never see them, and Kim never had family photos or anything like that in her apartment, so it's safe to assume that she probably does have an estranged relationship with her family. The only time that we've ever heard of her hometown was during her interview with Rich in season 2.
I'm from the Midwest, just a tiny little town barely on the map, near the Kansas-Nebraska border. You've never heard of it.
Aside from her flashbacks, I'm talking in the Better Call Saul timeline here, where she explained that back in her hometown, her life was going nowhere, so she decided to move away and become a lawyer in Albuquerque to make something of herself.
One day I just looked around at my life, at who I was, and realized if I kept going the way I was going, I just wanted something else.
What did you want?
More.
Although Kim's motivation to leave her hometown to create a successful lawyer career with her newfound work ethic was a good decision for her initially, her family may have not approved of it. It's possible that Kim could have left her family with bad terms, with them even thinking that Kim moving away was specifically to move away from them, giving them the cold shoulder and leaving them in the dust. So in a way, Kim is moving away from Jimmy for the same reason why she may have moved away from her hometown, due to the same realization that her current environment wasn't good for her or her mental health and future. But it's possible that after the events surrounding Howard's death, she realized that her hometown life and her family weren't so bad after all in comparison, and that there's still something for her that's worth going back to, especially after a decade of being away. We've only seen her mother in flashbacks when Kim was a kid, so it's possible that her mother could be played by a new actor in the Breaking Bad or Gene timelines due to the 30+ year difference. Could her mother be played by Carol Burnett? Since we've seen Kim's mother multiple times with Kim as a child, it's possible that we could see Kim's mother with Kim as an adult for them to kind of conclude their relationship and get closure in that regard. Now, Bob Odenkirk said in a recent interview with EW that Carol Burnett would be joining the cast to play a part in a major story during the 4 remaining episodes, but the way that he said it kind of implies that Carol Burnett would be involved in the Saul Goodman story, so we'll have to wait and see. We get a scene of her catching up with how she's doing in the Breaking Bad timeline, possibly including either a phone call with Saul or them catching up in person. I'd like to see a moment where Saul tries reaching out to Kim during the Breaking Bad timeline, even though he might get a negative response. Although Kim has decided that they aren't good for each other, considering they still said "I love you" to each other during their breakup scene, they clearly still care about each other. Also, looking back on the recent Peter Gould interview article that I discussed recently in my Walt and Jesse cameo update video, Peter implied that the Walt and Jesse cameo is formed in such a way where its point is to focus on the Mike, Jimmy, and Kim relationship. So it's safe to say that we'll see Mike, Jimmy, and Kim potentially together in the Breaking Bad timeline, or at least have Mike and Jimmy speak about Kim in front of Walt and Jesse. Kim could also be the same person that Saul arranged Francesca to get the phone call from on his birthday, as he instructed her in the 405 Breaking Bad flash forward when Saul was cleaning up his Breaking Bad office to disappear as Gene.
Okay, and where are you going to be November 12th at 3 p.m.?
I'll be there, but if it doesn't ring at 3 on the dot, I'm gone.
Don't worry, it's going to ring.
I'm unsure of what career Kim may pursue next, considering she's not a lawyer anymore, but since she threw away her successful career at Mesa Verde to work on pro bono clients, the show has implied to us that Kim won't be necessarily looking for a high-paying career, but instead one that makes her happy and feels fulfilled, potentially by helping others who deserve help that they can't usually find. Since Jimmy and Kim broke up, I assume that they also got a divorce, making Kim Jimmy's third ex-wife. If you remember in Breaking Bad, Jimmy talked about having 3 ex-wives, although that may have been during a deleted scene, I can't quite remember.
Where every middle-aged washout ends up when his wife gives him the boot. 3 marriages, you think I haven't been here?
So since Jimmy and Kim are most likely divorced, does that mean that Kim won't get half of the Sandpiper money anymore? Even if she could, she may refuse it due to being a symbolic outcome of her indirectly getting Howard killed, which is what she's trying to move away from. The Gene timeline only happens a few years after the Breaking Bad timeline, so most predictions for where Kim moved to or what she's up to during the Breaking Bad timeline could also be applicable to the Gene timeline as well. One thing I would like to see with Kim in the post-Breaking Bad timeline is possibly catching up with how she's doing, while also seeing her react to watching news stories on the entire Heisenberg case, along with how Saul was affiliated with the mighty Heisenberg. Kim seeing that Saul Goodman is missing, especially his public affiliation to Heisenberg and potentially Gus along with the cartel as well, may spark motivation in Kim to find out what happened to him. Will Kim somehow try to track Gene down after Saul disappeared? Since she vaguely knew about Ed the Disappear from the Better Call Saul timeline, she may put 2 and 2 together and use that as a lead to track Saul down as Gene. That being said, I'm not sure how much Kim truly knows about the vacuum salesman's true secret business, considering she was exposed to his business card before Jimmy ever bought the contact book or figured out who Ed the Disappear truly was. Kim was just kind of looking at it, perplexed and confused.
Best quality vacuum.
And also, even if Kim could track down Ed the Disappear or his wife or affiliates, I doubt that they'd give any of that information out. Now, there's a popular meme theory that Ed could be Kim's father, and although I'd like to entertain the idea, I doubt the show will go in that direction. Will Gene reach out to Kim instead to get her help with something like Jeff the cab driver? Although I like this theory that Jeff could be a possible PI or criminal that Kim hired to track Gene down, I don't really think this is the case. The only thing we have to link Kim and Jeff together is the fact that in Season 6 Part 1, Kim was holding up the same album Albuquerque isotope air freshener in court that Jeff had in his cab, although Kim holding it up in court may have just been to show how common of an item it is in Albuquerque. Also, Jeff picking up Jean from the hospital in season 4 seems like too much of a coincidence to be planned. It's possible that Jeff could have known that Jean was in the hospital due to the public show that happened in season 4 with everyone at the mall witnessing Jean getting carried out by paramedics, or since Jean's name and face entered the system at the hospital, but I doubt it. Jeff truly did seem to pick up Jean from the hospital by chance, recognizing him in the back seat and then tracking him down in the mall in season 5 due to Jean having his Cinnabon outfit with him during the season 4 cab ride. The show definitely implied that Jeff picked up Jean by chance from the hospital in season 4, and if they changed the story to Kim hiring Jeff to track down Jean, in my opinion that'd be a retcon of the season 4 and 5 Jean scenes that'd be hard to make sense of. Although with the new Jeff recasting, along with them refilming older Jean scenes with the new Jeff from seasons 4 and 5, anything's possible at this point, I guess. But if Kim doesn't track Jean down, could Jean track Kim down? And if so, how and why would he do so? In regards to the how, as I discussed earlier, Jimmy probably knew where Kim was moving to, even though we weren't told where on screen. And also, it's not like Kim has changed her name or anything as far as we know, so it shouldn't be too hard to track her down. This means that throughout the whole Breaking Bad and Jean timelines, he could reach out to Kim or track her down whenever he wants. Although it'd be hard for Kim to track down Jean, it may not be hard for Jean to track down Kim if he needs to. In regards to the why, to be honest, there's a handful of reasons. First off, he could track her down due to needing her help for some reason. Jean could ask Kim for help with Jeff, although I doubt she'd be willing to con or scheme with him again, since that's the very reason why she moved away from him. Could he maybe convince her one more time? If Jean decides to turn himself in, Kim can't represent him anymore due to her quitting the law, so that idea is out of the picture. Even if Kim can't represent him, Jean may turn himself in, not only for everything that happens in the events of Breaking Bad, but also Howard's death, potentially to make Kim feel better for the reason why she left him. Jean could also try to leave his remaining wealth with her, such as his diamonds, although I'm unsure if Kim will accept it or deny it due to the same reasons why she probably didn't want the Sandpiper money. Jean could still ask Kim for help for any plethora of reasons, but whether it has to do with his new identity, relocating again, or his future in general. Could Jean just give a final goodbye to her from afar, similar to Walt Jr. in Breaking Bad? It's possible that Jean tries to make contact with her, but it doesn't go well, once again similar to Walt Jr., so Jean is forced to say goodbye to her once and for all from afar before concluding his own story arc. Now, regardless of what happens throughout all these variables, I doubt that we've seen the last of Kim, that I'm confident to say. In a way, Kim is the last thing that gave Jimmy hope, as she was the last person that he truly cared about. With Chuck gone, Howard gone, HHM gone, along with Saul pushing away the lawyer community due to his affiliation with criminals, now with Kim gone too, there was nothing holding Jimmy back from finally pushing into the full-blown Saul Goodman, a persona which is also a coping mechanism for Jimmy to compartmentalize everything that's happened to him during the Better Call Saul timeline. This is also why in episode 609, the show jarringly jumped from Jimmy and Kim's breakup scene into the Saul Goodman Breaking Bad timeline, showing how Kim is gone, nothing's holding Jimmy back from now becoming the sleazy criminal lawyer that we know him as in Breaking Bad. So even though Kim's gone, I doubt she's gone forever. Although her final scene with Jimmy in 609 was heartbreakingly amazing, it was far too sudden and quick for it to be just her last scene ever. I'm guessing that they showed her and Jimmy break up to conclude the Better Call Saul timeline, since 609 was kind of an epilogue and conclusion to the Better Call Saul timeline, and then they sidelined her for now in order to show Jimmy's full transformation into Saul Goodman during the Breaking Bad timeline, but eventually Kim will return by the end of the series for one final conclusion. Whether it's in the Breaking Bad or Jean timelines is yet to be seen, but if she does return to the Jean timeline, I do believe that will get the heavily predicted cliche of Kim bringing light back into Jean's world, with their potential reunion causing the Jean scenes to change from the black and white filter back into a colorized world. Either that or maybe Jean turns himself in and that will fill his world with color again, as I predicted in my Jean Goes to Jail theory video, where Jean will be able to be himself again as Saul Goodman, but this time from within prison walls. If this happens, it's also possible that the final Jean and Kim reunion could be Kim visiting Jean in jail, giving closure in a bittersweet way. Let me know what you think about Kim's fate in the final 4 episodes, along with how she may return to conclude the series. Leave any thoughts and predictions in the comments below. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today. If you're new to the channel or just haven't yet already, subscribe and hit that bell notification to stay updated on when I post new content on Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. Check out my Patreon and give a super thanks to help support the channel financially. But most importantly, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
You started in the mailroom, is that right?
I did. I was there almost, 10 years ago now.
I see you went to UNM Law. Are you from New Mexico?
Not originally.